In the automotive industry, it's traditional to preview a car before it is released. This is done in various ways, usually by showcasing a prototype model. Another way of doing this is by showing a concept of what the new car could look like, a so-called concept car. Today, we'll be talking about concept cars, the various types of concept cars, and so on. This is Autophil, and I hope you enjoyed this video. The first type of concept car is pretty obvious. What I mean is the kind of concept car that previews an upcoming production car. Most of the time, these concepts look nothing like a car made to drive on the road. They're stylish, sleek, and even outlandish in some cases. A good example of this type of concept car is the Chevrolet Beat concept in 2007. It was meant to show off Chevrolet's then upcoming new city car, which was going to succeed the aging Carlos. The Beat was also supposed to demonstrate that a city car doesn't have to look or feel cheap, with a muscular stance and futuristic interior. This all seemed to show that Chevrolet's upcoming city car would be a hit. In fact, General Motors' marketing for this concept car led to the Beat being featured in that year's Transformers movie. Now then, what about the production car? Did it appear to be what the Chevy Beat teased? No, not really. The Chevrolet Spark, as was the final production model called, reusing its name from a previous model of the Chevrolet city car line, did look like the concept, although it was definitely uglier than the already rather ugly concept. This is something that happens a lot with concept cars. The concept, teasing a production vehicle, often tends to be exaggerated, and when the production model comes out, it usually turns out to be nothing worth waiting for. Then again though, I guess this is what concept cars are supposed to be like. Concepts teasing a production vehicle, usually with their design resembling that of early sketches of a car's design. And I mean it when I say usually, because this doesn't always happen. Sometimes concepts are very similar, maybe even identical to the production model. An example is the Toyota FT1 concept car shown off in 2014. It was a long, low-riding and handsome coupe with a striking appearance. It was meant to preview a new sports car that Toyota was developing, which would only come out in 2019. The production car ended up becoming the 5th generation Supra, keeping the striking design, and while it wasn't as long and big as the concept, it still looked beautiful. Even though they aren't exactly identical, they are very similar, and that shows that production cars don't have to be civilized and can go crazy and look as outlandish and cool as the concept cars they're based on. Now then, you may think that concepts are always a preview of an upcoming production model, but that's not true. Sometimes, concept cars can be made just for fun or to experiment with something. This is when we get to the more interesting type of concept car. To begin what's arguably the more interesting part of this video, I'll explain the more experimental type of concept car. These concepts are usually made to test new technologies like, say, hydrogen as fuel. Sometimes car manufacturers goof off and make the weirdest concept ever, just for fun. And I guess these concepts also fit in the experimental category. I think that a good example for the former would be the GM Hydrogen 3. Based on the first generation Opel Zafira, the Hydrogen 3 was a test vehicle meant for testing hydrogen as motor fuel. With an impressive range of around 250 miles or 400 kilometers, the hydrogen-powered concept was extensively tested by General Motors throughout 2006 on the roads of Japan, having debuted at an expo there. Nothing special, I know, but the fun begins with the Dodge Neon Espresso, which is a great example of the nonsensical type of concept car. This was Dodge's vision of the family taxi of the future. It was a very odd looking concept indeed. But I guess those were the 90s, when every car was as curvy as possible. Seriously, everything about this car is weird, from the bodywork to even the windows. You're probably wondering what kind of relationship the Neon Espresso has with the Neon Saloon. Well, the only similarities between the two are the name and platform on which they're built on. Another very weird concept car is the Toyota Aygo DJ, an amalgamation of a car and a DJ's mixing desk. This was probably Toyota's maddest concept ever, and still is in my opinion. There's not much to say here, really, but dang is this a weird one. Who asked for this? Anyways, there are many more concept cars like these out there, with there most likely being too many to list in one video. With that, we get to the last type of concept car, that being the type that references an older car. Let's move on to it. When it comes to this, let's say, nostalgic type of concept car, these concepts are usually inspired by cars of the good old days. These can be tributes to old cars or new cars only inspired by the old ones. I'll provide two examples. One is the BMW M1 Homage, a tribute to the mid-engined M1 supercar. Shown off in 2008, the M1 Homage was created as part of the M1's 30th anniversary and was a vision of what a new M1 would look like, sleek and low-riding. Per tradition with this kind of concept car, it was never meant for production and was only really meant as a tribute to the mid-engined sports car. Another example is the Cadillac 16, a handsome saloon concept from 2003. It was made as a reference to the Cadillac V16, an ultra-luxury car from the 1930s, which, as its name implies, featured a massive 7.4-litre V16 engine. The 16 concept car inspired by it likewise had a V16 engine, this time measuring a whopping 13.6 litres and allegedly producing a minimum of 1000 brake horsepower. This was a crazy creation from Cadillac, and even though this is only a concept car, not meant for the road, it was apparently meant to be put in production, albeit with a V8 or V12 engine. This rumoured production model being called either the ULS or XLS, the latter standing for Ultra Luxury Sedan. It would have been sick if Cadillac had put it into production, but nothing ever came out of this project, and so a production version of the 16 never came out, and probably never will. Like the other concepts, there are many others like these two, and there are too many to list in this video. I like this type of concept car the most, honestly. One of my favourite concepts is definitely the Cadillac 16. How about you? Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you liked it, and if you did, why not like and subscribe? By the way, I just wanted to thank @SpeedKing99V12 for suggesting this video idea. If you have a video idea that you would like to suggest, then feel free to share it in the comment section down below. Once again, thank you for watching. This is Autofill. See you later.